forces continue to chase terrorists in Aleppo, Homs and Hama, inflicting huge losses on them. Iraqi terrorist Khalaf admits to joining an armed terrorist group committing acts of killing and sabotage. The meetings of non-aligned countries' foreign ministers start in Tehran and affirm the need of dialogue to end the crisis in Syria. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our news for today. A blast with a booby-trapped car has occurred during a funeral of two martyrs who were killed yesterday in terrorist explosion in Jaramana in Damascus suburbs. Initial reports refer to a large number of martyrs among the mourners. Our armed forces have carried out an operation in the vicinity of Al-Idha'a neighborhood in Aleppo, capturing two terrorists and killing others. An official source told SANA's correspondent that 6 boxes of bombs and ammunition, a Russian rifle, a BKC machine gun, sniping and automatic guns of various kinds, military uniforms and medical equipment were confiscated. The authorities, moreover, carried out an operation in Al-Bandara neighborhood in Aleppo, inflicting heavy losses on the terrorists. In Homs, the authorities last night intercepted an armed terrorist group that fired mortar shells at Al-Musharfi village east of the governorate, scoring direct hits among the terrorists and destroying 2 cars equipped with Doshka machine guns and killing all their occupants. The mortar shells fired by the terrorists had injured several citizens. Army units have dismantled 10 explosive charges planted by armed terrorist groups in Al-Madiq Castle in Hama. A source in the governorate said 4 explosive devices weighing between 15 and 35 kilograms have been planted by terrorists inside a school in Karkad. The other 6 that weighed between 20 and 25 kilos have been planted near grain silos in the castle. In Al-Qamishli, anti-terrorism squads raided today a hideout for an armed terrorist group in the neighborhood of Qadubek, arresting 11 terrorists and wounding another 1. An official source said that the operation resulted in finding a secret cache, as 10 automatic guns were seized, in addition to a sniper, an 80 rifle, as well as 3 pump-action guns, 11 grenades, a pistol, some military uniforms, a considerable amount of heroin and narcotic substance, 23 communication devices for computers and remote control devices for detonating explosives. An army unit has destroyed security and stability restored stability and security to Al-Harak city and Dar'a suburbs after cleaning it from the armed terrorist groups who had committed crimes against citizens and destroyed public and private properties. A source in the governorate told SANA's correspondent that chasing the mercenary terrorists lasted for a few days and resulted in the killing of a large number of them, capturing others and confiscating a huge quantity of arms and ammunition. The weapons seized included Israeli-made anti-armor and RPG shells, as well as sniping rifles, mines, explosive devices, and Arab Gulf identity cards belonging to the armed men, as well as military uniforms and modern communication equipment. Iraqi terrorist Bashar Sinjar al-Khalaf admitted to joining an armed terrorist group which was committing acts of crimes and robbery in Al-Hafa area in Latakia countryside.
أنا بشار سنجار خلف، عراقي الجنسية من مدينة الموصل. دخلت إلى سوريا عام 2004.
Terrorist Khalaf said in confessions transmitted by Syrian Arab TV yesterday that he is from the city of Mosul in Iraq, and he came to Syria in 2004 and settled in Latakia after he was married to a Syrian woman, Maria Muhammad Qasim. He added that when the events started in Syria, he used to take part in demonstrations after he joined a terrorist group led by terrorist Mu'taz Bitar in the village of Al-Hiffa in September of last year. Terrorist Khalaf pointed out that he took part in the attack against a military checkpoint in Al-Hiffa. He also participated in acts of vandalism against public and private properties, like setting fire to a municipality building and many commercial shops. He said that he received 4,000 Syrian pounds from terrorist Mu'taz Bitar. He concluded by saying that when he escaped to the adjacent Al-Jikil village to live with his father-in-law, security troops arrested him.
The foreign ministers of the non-aligned countries have started their meeting in Tehran with the participation of Syrian delegation to discuss the draft communique prepared by experts from those countries.
The foreign ministers of the non-aligned countries discussed the situation in the region and the crisis in Syria and ways to support the member countries' rights, as well as dialogue as a means to solve international affairs. The experts' meeting Secretary Mehdi Akhondzada said the communique issued by the meeting underlined the need to resort to all means in order to solve the crisis in Syria peacefully. He affirmed the necessity to respect state sovereignty and take no advantage of the situation in certain countries in order to intervene in their internal affairs. The communique expressed rejection of any foreign intervention in Syria and called for an end of violence in the country. It also denounced the American measure to impose unilateral sanctions on Syria. The leaders of non-aligned countries will start next Thursday and Friday their 16th meeting and are expected to discuss the draft communique prepared by the foreign ministers.
Lebanese Foreign Minister Adnan Mansour underscored that solving the crisis in Syria should be done by Syrians themselves and under a Syrian leadership. In an interview on the sideline of his participation in the meetings of the non-aligned movement foreign ministers in Tehran, Mansour expressed his country's rejection of the foreign interference in Syria's internal affairs, stressing that Lebanon supports the internal political solution through dialogue between the Syrian leadership and the opposition. Mansour stressed that talking about establishing a no-fly zone over Syria is very dangerous, as it does not serve Syria's unity and constitutes a flagrant interference in Syria's internal affairs. Iraqi Foreign Minister Hushar Zebari has affirmed his country's support for any political solution to the crisis in Syria. He said the events in Syria have their impact on Iraq and all the countries of the region. He added that Iraq's stand regarding the situation in Syria stems from its national interests and the interests of the Syrian people as well. Finally, the Archbishop of the Greek Orthodox and occupied Palestine, Atullah Hanna, has stressed that what is happening in Syria is a colonialist scheme aimed at undermining the Syrian state in service of colonialist greed, and that the Syrians are capable of solving this crisis. During his meeting with Father Julio, the Special Secretary and Assistant of the Archbishop of Jerusalem in exile, Hilarion Capucci, Archbishop Hanna said, "Those who conspire against Syria do not want it to be a democratic civil state, nor do they want reform or good for this country. Their goal is to spread devastation and chaos." He added that Syria's wise leadership and national opposition would obstruct the schemes hatched by Syria's enemies. With this, we end our news bulletin for today. For more information about Syria and the region, you can visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Up next, the latest business.